to another night of the Get Grant Ready Challenge. I am your host, Ty Woods. I am your host, Ty Woods. I am your host, Ty Woods. I'm the CEO of BusinessGrants.com, and I am also the grant guru that your gurus come to. I am excited about tonight because tonight is the night we are going to talk about money and how to get it. So many different ways to raise money for your nonprofit that it's like I literally put a list together. And what we're going to do is talk about all of the different ways that you can raise money and talk about some of the creative ways that you can raise money for your nonprofit. I still hear that echo. Man, oh, wait a minute. I know what I need to do. Okay. I think that did the job. Okay, yes. So there are so many ways to raise money, right? But the only way that is going to raise money for you is the way that you know. And so what I'm going to do is teach about the various types of fundraising tools that you can use. We're going to go through some exercises to give you some examples, and then we're going to do some like role playing for you guys, because I think that the hardest part that people have, the hardest part about raising money is the ask, right? Most people don't want to ask, especially if you're asking family and friends. Now, I'm going to tell you, the people that are the hardest people to get money from are family and friends, especially if you're that person that always asks for money from your family and friends. So if you're that person, it's really tough to ask. It's actually easier to get money from strangers than it is from family and friends. I am a living testimony of that. So now I'm not saying that they don't give me money. I have family that donate to the organization in a major way even now. So shout out to those family members. But there's always those ones that we like, I see you on social media, but I'm not going to support. So what I'm going to do is we're going to first start off by talking about the number one way that nonprofits raise money. The number one way that nonprofits raise money, is it grants? No, it's actually not grants. Actually, if you do the research, 90% of an organization's revenue will most likely come from individual donors. Individual donors. So why wouldn't we have an individual donor campaign if 90% of the revenue or 70% of the revenue is coming from individual donors? Now, in my situation, well, when I say situation, I mean my organization. In the organization that I co-founded, it was actually the opposite. Because I'm a really good grant writer. I've been doing this for 22 years. So it's an art and a science to grant writing. So there is a way to be able to get grants on a recurring basis, not luck, but actual strategy. And my organization actually was 80% grants and 20% individual donors. And that's actually is not really a good thing, because when you have so many grants, your organization is, especially if it's one single large grant. So we just came out of a $1.5 million grant cycle. That grant cycle did amazing. Like, we had 105 people employed. We actually did 3 years of that particular grant, and it put, $1 million plus into the economy. But what it didn't prepare us for was what's going to happen when that money runs out. Program into a program with a $150 registration fee. It was a little pushback, but they still paid it, because this was $150 for the whole summer. Well, now, what summer camp you gonna find $150 for 8 weeks? It's not nowhere. It's $150 a week. The majority of summer camps run between 150 to in my neighborhood. There's camps that's $400. So they were getting an extremely good deal, but we still got some pushback. So I do want you to raise money with grants. I want you to get grants, but I want grants to be like the icing on the cake and not the cake itself, if that makes sense. Grants I should say no more than one major grant. One grant shouldn't take up more than 25% of your revenue. So that if that grant goes away, that 25%, by the way, that one grant that I was just telling you about ended up becoming 60% of our overall revenue, which was not good. That was not good at all. And so we ended up in a bind because we depended so much. And I fell back. I got lazy. I gotta admit, I got lazy. I got lazy because I'm like, I don't have to write no grants right now. So I started writing. That's when I really started writing for other people and making money as a grant writer and as a grant judge. I started judging grants for the state of Georgia and for the counties. And I'm like, hey, I'll judge some grants. I got free time, y'all. I've done my part. Once you get one of those $1 million grants, it really does make you lazy. And so I stopped applying for grants for years. And unfortunately, it put the organization in a place where we didn't have backup grants for when that grant ended. What I'm about to share is a portal where you can find a list of corporations that will match employee giving. Now, I am telling you, we just got an unexpected $8,500. $7,000 came from Salesforce because one of our board members worked for Salesforce, a vice president level, works for Salesforce, and she donated $5,000 or $7,000 to the organization, and Salesforce matched it. So that one person brought in $14,000 this year. It's only second quarter. So that's just one person. You guys do the math. I got 10 board members. Okay. Now, not all of them work for major corporations. Some of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them work for smaller companies that don't have these kind of programs. But about half of them work for major corporations. So what I want to do is show you a hack on how I double my donations. All right. So I ask people, hey, where do you work at these days? Boeing. I'm putting Boeing, the airline company, because I know for a fact they do match. All right. So Boeing does one-on-one match, which means that if you work at the airline builder, Boeing company, they will match up to $10,000. And then the other thing that I look for is, do you have to be full-time? Do you have to be full-time? Do you have to be part-time? Or can you be retired? And look, if you worked for Boeing in the past and you retired from Boeing, you can actually donate too. And then submit your donation request, matching request to the HR, and they will send us another 10,000. Oh, it said retirees are eligible for 3,000. See, that's why you got to read the fine print. So if you retire, they will do 3,000. But if you are current, currently working for Boeing, and it says Boeing matches donations to most nonprofits, including education institutions, arts and culture organizations, civic and community organizations, environmental, health and human services, and many other nonprofits. So the fact is that where you work can actually don't double the donation. So think about if you have made a donation this year to anywhere, find out whether or not your company will match it. I just go to HR. That's usually the department that regulates employee matching. But if you work for like a huge, large company, like Boeing have like 100,000 employees, so they probably have a benefits administrator. That will be the person that would handle this. Somebody that's in the benefits department. Okay? Well, I just showed y'all how to double what one person gives. And so that just happened, like literally the check is coming. It says the check is on the way. I check the portal every month. I go in there and oh, by the way, there's a portal. It's called Benevity, Benevity. It's called Benevity. And if you're a nonprofit, and those of you who are on the call, I'm going to have you guys register for Benevity because you actually have to be registered with Benevity, and they're going to like certify that you are actually a active nonprofit in order for you to get matching gifts. Now that's with Benevity, but there are other networks that verify, so they may not be. It may not be just only that one, but that one is definitely one you want to be on. Like that's a platform you want to be on, okay? And by the way, if you volunteer hours, there's also dollars for that too. I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you this. It's called dollars for hours, and I know someone who does it. Microsoft. So I'm going over to Microsoft now because I know for a fact they do it. I love Microsoft. I love having some Microsoft employees on my board, baby, because look how much they give. Look how much they will match. Y'all see that? $15,000. And if you full-time or part-time. Now, they won't help you if you're employee, retired. But if you work for Microsoft, come on over to my board. Now, granted, we are blessed because our board chair, our recently voted board chair, is a Microsoft employee, and he donates a lot of hours helping us set our systems up. So they give us they give him $25. They give us $25 for every 1 hour he volunteers. And he volunteers sometimes up to like 40, 50 hours a month because he's helping us like set our systems up. He's basically our IT guy on the side. And he gets $25 an hour, except he don't get it, we get it. On top of the fact that he donates $500 a month. So who's going to match that? Microsoft. Microsoft is going to match $500 a month up to $15,000. So how much money, just doing the math in my head, how much money would he need to give every month in order to max out the 15,000? Is it like 1,250? 1,000 would be 10,000, so that's 10 months. So it's a little bit over $1,000. He would have to be given like basically like $1,200 a month, which, well, not 1,200, no, because 1,200 times 12 is 2,400. So 1,000, y'all, my brain is moving really slow. That mucus. That mucus, still, as you can hear in my voice, I'm pushing. I hope I'm not disturbing you guys with my voice, but I'm at the tail end of this thing. All right. So get someone from Microsoft. Now that's just Microsoft. There are other companies that do dollars for hours. So there's two ways that one employee, by the way, that's not a part of this 15,000. That's a separate. They have $3,000 for the volunteer service and 15,000 for the matching donation. So he can actually bring in $18,000 just by himself. So he will put in 18,000. Microsoft will put in 18,000, $36,000 from one person. From one person. So I am extremely careful about who comes on my board. And we are a large organization now. So when I was a small startup, a lot of quality board members wasn't really attracted to us because we were so small that sometimes like you want to make sure that you're going to prove yourself. Until you do that, you probably have to bank on quality family and friends. And when I say quality, I mean, y'all know what I mean, to be on your board. Quality family and friends to be on your board, all right? In the beginning, and find out where they work, and then see if they could donate. So you can actually create an entire donation campaign around matching gifts. Around matching gifts. All right. So if I am trying to get, how many of you guys want to do like an event, like a gala, or like raise your hand if you want to do like some type of event this year to raise money for your organization? Okay, so since you're going to be doing events, if you're going to do an event, this could be actually the time to find people who will be on what's called a committee. And that's basically just like volunteers who are hyper focused on one topic, and that could be just your event. So they are there to help you with your event. Now, the amount of hours it takes to plan an event, if you had a Microsoft employee that was on that committee, and you need $25,000 to put this event on, you can actually raise the money from within the team. And then once you have the money from these other corporations, then the money that you make from ticket sales, all profit. Strategy is what I do. Strategy. That's a strategy that I've used and using right now actually for our major event that's in July. And by the way, if you're in Atlanta, July 26th, we are hosting, we just got approved for the largest, hosting the largest back to school bash, the largest back to school event in the state of Georgia. We're about to coin it. We're about to coin it. And I am about to raise $250,000 in the next 3 months. Watch me. From sponsors. I was just waiting for this venue. This venue is prime. It's where we host our state fair. And so it's already a super large venue. And then we have a couple of artists that are on standby. They were waiting for us to get the approval for the venue, which we just got. So this is hot off the press. We about to, you guys, those of you in the CEO Society, you about to see me do for myself what I'm teaching y'all to do. Because there's a lot of people out there on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and they're talking about all of this. This is how you do this, this is how you do that. But they never done it for themselves. They never grown a nonprofit or organization. They've never won a grant, or if they have won a grant, it's one of them one-off grants that they threw a dart at and won accidentally. There was no strategy around it. And what happens is they think they start teaching people and people are following them. I'm not throwing shade on nobody because you want to make your money. Go ahead and make your money and be an influencer and all of that stuff. But let me tell you, you better watch who you follow online because there's a lot of people that are saying that they've done stuff, but they really haven't done it. And in this sector, in the nonprofit sector, it is really easy to track back what someone has done because money has a trail. And with even if someone says, "Oh, I won this grant," well, guess what? You know what I do? I go to the place they said they won a grant from, and because all grants are public, honey, on 990 PS, they have to put public information. It's public information. If it was, especially, it was a certain amount, more than $10,000, it has to be. So what happens is that they will publish who won the grant. And if I don't see your name on there, baby, you didn't win that grant. You probably wish you won it, but you didn't win. Because I be verifying receipts. It's too many, what they call people out there flexing. Okay? So I want to make sure that you guys have what you need to do this, to execute this on a recurring basis, which is why I created some templates for you guys. I'm going to put together a folder of all of the tools that I use, from the solicitation tools, meaning like when it's time for me to ask for money, I ask for money in a certain way, and it's the same way every time. I don't shift it because it's a system. It's a system of how you do it. Now, of course, you still have to kind of like, you have to be yourself. You have to use authenticity. If you're going to be talking to people, I do take people for a coffee or out to lunch if I'm going to ask them for like a major gift. And my husband do the same. Like he's about to take somebody out Friday. That's tomorrow, right? Yes. He's taking someone for a coffee. Someone from I think Burger King or McDonald's or one of those corporations, because he's getting ready to ask them for $50,000. So at least at the very minimum, he can get some coffee for them. So it takes that kind of nurturing, because sometimes people they don't know you. You're not the Boys and Girls Club. You're not St. Jude's. You're not American Cancer Society, right? So these are the organizations that people know and trust. And because you don't have that yet, and I'm saying yet, because one day you're going to speak this. One day my organization will be a household name. Say it out loud. My organization will be a household name. And I used to say that to myself. My husband used to say that. And guess what? We have literally became a household name. We're in the same rooms when people are talking about quality youth programs. People are on panels. They will say, programs like Boys and Girls Club, Opportunity Knots, YMCA, like we're in that list in Georgia. Now we are in the process of what's called creating affiliations and chapters, which is going to make us a national organization. Anybody else want to check a company before I move on to the actual individual donor campaign? My framework pretty much works for pretty much all solicitations. So first you gather opportunities, right? And I'll share this because this is pretty long. I'm going to share this document so you can have it. So I want to take this off. The goal is to identify those donors that have already shown that they care about the subject that your organization is about. So your organization is about feeding the homeless, then you will put out there, like on your social media, you can start with that. You can start with sending text messages to people and just saying, hey, I started a nonprofit organization that's feeding the homeless. Would you be open to donating $10 a month? Now, I'm starting out the gate. You guys, we're going to come out the gate with an individual donor campaign that is a monthly recurring donation campaign. The reason why is because I feel like if you have if you have the right things to, if you have at least like $500 coming in every month, because that's, if you asking for $10 a month, that's 50 people, right? $500, yes. So if you can get 50 people to donate $10, just $10 a month, then what you're doing is you're building up what's called your floor. That will give you a baseline to know how much money you will have every month to do some of the business that you need to take care of for the organization. So if you need flyers this month, if you need to pay for a cell phone to, because you may want to have a, we have a separate cell phone for our organization. We don't use our own cell phones. But it took a while. So what we did was we got Google Voice numbers in the meantime. When we first started and when we were coming up the reins, we were using Google Voice and then have the Google Voice number transferred to our phone. And of course, when Google Voice calls, you'll say, this call is from Google Voice. Would you like to accept it? And that's how we know that it's a Google Voice number. And then when you answer it for the organization. Hello, Think Yourself Inc. You know, you have the way you answer your organization phone. But what you want to do is have some money coming in every month so that you can be able to handle some of the organization business. Every year you got to pay, you got state filing fees. Now, some states you don't have to pay the actual filing fee, but in Georgia you do. I mean, it's only $50, but in Georgia you have to pay every year. There's a lot of states you have to pay every year, Tennessee. So you have to make sure that you have the money and that it's not coming out of your pocket. Now, in the beginning, the first year, maybe if you do if you do exactly how I show you, you won't be paying out of your pocket for very long, okay? Because I know what it's like, even up through recent, to have to use personal money for your organization. And what I started doing, like as we started growing and we got money coming in, what happened is we expand our expenses. We increased our expenses. So we was always coming out of pocket in the beginning. So what I would suggest is that as your money comes in from the donations, stay within that budget so that you're not using money out of your own, out of your work. Some of y'all got full-time jobs, or you may, got spouses with full-time jobs and they're supporting this vision. Well, I'm here. I'm all for it in the beginning, but after a while, guys, it's gonna get very cumbersome to pay out of pocket for everything. Out of everything that you do, I want you to focus on raising money so that you can get a budget to work from. That's like number one priority, along with your board. Your board is going to help you raise money, the right board. Okay, so R says research. So you're going to research where they work. This is why I was saying, like, individual donors can tell you where they work. And if you are strategic about it, I put a, I feel like I should do this on my social media. Hey, does anybody on my timeline work for Microsoft? Now, I can tell you one thing, LinkedIn, if you do not have LinkedIn, you better get you a LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the gold mine. It's the board member gold mine and it's the matching donations gold mine. Because as you, I'm, I'm about to show you better than I can tell you. Right. So we're talking about how to research individual donors and finding the high quality board members. So I've started with LinkedIn, right? So I'm gonna take this off because I was creating the job. Okay. So we are here. No, we're gonna go to my network. So over here, I have 1,732 connections on LinkedIn and 2,791 contacts. I'm in 23 groups, a part of 6 events, and a part of 248 pages and 5 newsletters. So I'm really active, as you can see. I'm really active on LinkedIn. And that's because I do all of the board recruiting. By the way, I got like 35. I'm at the point now where people are coming to me asking me, can they be on our board? Well, I don't do it that way. What I do is I post a job. I go to job. This right here is the hack. I call it the hack. This is the secret sauce of what major nonprofit organizations do to find really solid people to be on their board and to be a part of different committees. So what I do is put this job, manage job posts. I'm going to show you a job posting that I just recently did that I have open right now. Look what I have open. Look what I'm looking for. Advisory committee members. So the board says, hey, let's not look for board members. Let's look for people who can be an advisory committee member first. Let's see how they work. And if they work well, then we will invite them to be on the board. That's how exclusive our board is now. You can't even just jump on there. It used to be back in the day, if you have the $500 board dues, we would let you on. Come on, come on in. Go to network, go to your network. Who are we gonna look for? We're gonna look for people who work at Microsoft. I'm gonna see who else I know work at Microsoft. So Rudy's gonna come up because he's on our board. So you can see who's the first connection. So you will click first. First meaning you already are friends with that person. Okay? So I told you Rudy was gonna come up because he is our board chair. And he's listed as our board chair in his bio. So that's our board chair. But there are other people who work. Oh, this is skills Microsoft. No, I need people who work for Microsoft. Okay, yeah, they do work at Microsoft. Okay. Azure at Microsoft, the other Microsoft entities. Oh, I see now that some people who have the skills and certifications also fell through the cracks. So I'm going to go to the filters and I want to put it as first I want to make sure that they live in Atlanta. The current company is Microsoft. Now we're going to show results. Okay, so we down to 1, 2. Wow. I didn't realize I knew. Okay, 5 people. So I'm going to help you craft an individual donor campaign right now. We're going to go to ChatGPT. We're going to use somebody's organization as an example. I am creating an individual donor campaign for, type the name of your organization in the chat. Well, we'll do yours, Kendra. And I want to, by the way, I'm going to copy and paste this template, and you'll just change your name out, basically change out the information. Well, it's going to be different because everybody have different missions, but let's see what we come up with. So first, remember in ChatGPT, you got to tell it what it is, tell them what it's going to do. Now, I don't have to tell it what it is because this is my grant writing ChatGPT, so it already knows how to write for development. But you will put, you are a, and I want to just put that here. I'm showing you now how you would type it in to your ChatGPT, so that way you can actually use this same prompt to come up with your own individual donor campaign. You are a master of development for nonprofit organizations around the world. The biggest strength you have is building individual, oops, I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong. Individual donor campaigns that can be copied and pasted for multiple organizations. Now I'm adding this. Okay. Never can spell that wrong. Okay. I'm adding this next line because that will help me come up with a template. So what we're doing is we're going to create a one-sheeter that will explain what the donation is for. We're going to create a solicitation letter that's basically going to go out to companies or to individuals, or you can copy and paste it and email it out to people, which asks them to be a part of your, we're going to call it inner circle. Let's say give the campaign a name, and the giver will be a part of some type of recurring giving circle. Give that a name too. Okay, let's see what comes up. Now I just made it blanket to see if it will come up with something that we all can use. and I will use it too. We creating. Oh, I love that. The Impact Circle campaign, a recurring giving campaign to help build sustainable funding for mission-driven work. Donor Circle name, the Impact Circle, monthly giving society. Members of the Impact Circle commit to monthly giving to provide ongoing stable funding for programs, operations, and growth. Members receive exclusive updates, recognition, and invitation to quarterly virtual impact briefings. So whatever you say they're going to get as a member, you better deliver, because that's a part of being a member. Just like are you a part of any memberships? If you're a part of a membership, and they say exclusive, by the way, I'm creating a membership. I'm just, side note, if you are in the CEO Society, we now will be launching our CEO Society, our CEO Circle, which is a part of the CEO Society, and it will come with a exclusive community that's only for nonprofit founders and CEOs. It can't be like nobody who's working for the board, or they can't be the program person or your secretary. The reason why it's for founders only is because you are the ones that make the most sacrifice for your organization. And there are things that you will deal with that other people who are part of your organization will not deal with. And that's why I created this community for founders and CEOs only. Now I'm going to do a separate community for nonprofit leaders, and it's going to be called Leaders, because those who are program leaders and board members and all of the other, they are all leaders. And that will open it up for other leaders. But the CEO Inner Circle will be specifically for you guys, because I'm curating what I'm putting together is going to be amazing. I did not feel supported as I was coming up the ranks with my own nonprofit, and I nearly had a heart attack, guys, ladies. And I said to myself, I would never put myself back into that same position. I made some changes. I made, like, dietary changes, started walking, I started losing weight. I'm down like 50 something pounds already. I have more to lose, but I'm still on the track of self-care and helping, being myself, becoming more of what God created me to be. And that is all that I want for anyone who is in the CEO Society. So when you're talking to people about the Impact Circle, they need to understand that they are really your partner. So I really want to use the word partners in that, somewhere like in that title, maybe the Impact Partner or something, the Partner Circle, because they really are partnering with you. Your homework is to find three people. All you have to do is get their verbal commitment that they will be willing to be a part of your mission partner circle. And their commitment is, well, you know who they are. So don't start low if you don't want them. I should say this. Start high, like $50 is high for a lot of people, because that ends up being like $600 over the course of a year. But start off with $25. If they say, well, $25, I say, okay, how about 10? Can you do $10 a month for 12 months? And if they say yes, then when you come back tomorrow, your homework assignment is to find three people who will commit to being in your founding circle, the founder circle, and that is your circle who will be willing to donate monthly, the founder circle. I'm doing the same thing I'm doing it with you guys. I'll do it with you. And that's what we do. We're going to be raising funds throughout the year. And I'm going to show you the easiest ways. I showed you some really easy ways to raise money today. And if you don't raise money with these techniques, I'm like, you just didn't do anything. I know that you're going to raise money in the program. So please consider joining us in the CEO Society. It's only $500 a month, and it is only for once you pay it at one time, or you can just pay the $5,500 all at once. $5,000 if you pay it all at once, $5,500 if you pay it over the course of 10 months. But at the end of your program, if you're not making more money than you was making, our promise is we won't stop working with you until you have made back at double your investment. So that's how so confident we are in making sure that your organization grows, period. And not just your organization, but you grow. You grow and your organization will grow. Okay? So that's all. My time is up.